How are
How
you?
are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you here. It's
It's
really
9 a.m. in New York. It's pretty cloudy here today. It's going to be thunderstorming. So if there are any lags in my phone, please excuse me.
yeah, it's fine. Absolutely.
I grew up in New Delhi in India. I moved to the US, specifically New York, in 2011 to go to design school in the city. I went to Parsons School of Design. When I first joined the school, I came in on an undecided major. And then I realized that I really liked working with my hands and like building things. So I decided to go down the route of studying industrial design. Industrial designers are essentially problem solvers. So you're looking at, solutions that you have to everyday problems, to big problems, small problems, everything that you see around you, from furniture to, a table, a lamp. It's essentially starts with an industrial designer, which is cool. And yeah, I really liked working on furniture projects. And then after graduating, I was interested in entering the social innovation sphere, like specifically designing for good, how design can be used to change people's lives, everyday lives, for the better, of course. And me and my co-founder came across the UNICEF Wearables for Good challenge, which highlighted a lot of problems that mothers and infants were facing around the world. One statistic that really stood out to us was the fact that over 1.5 million children under the age of 5 die due to infectious illnesses, and more than 50% of these can just be avoided by washing your hands with soap. And a lot of these statistics were actually from India, which was insane to me because even though I grew up in India, I guess I just didn't realize the scope at which infectious diseases affect us as a country. And so my co-founder and I, we were interested in looking at the problem from a fun perspective, from the side of like how we can design an object to get kids to wash their hands more. And that's how we came about with the idea of SoaPen. It's a fun soap kids can draw with on their hands, and underwater it lathers and washes off like normal soap. It just makes sure that kids are having fun, most of all, because that's when behavior change happens, when you're doing something that you actually like. And two, they were properly washing their hands for 20 to 40 seconds. So this is what it looks like. Um, it's got liquid soap in it, and then it's got a rollerball on top that draws. I'm gonna make a little mark because I don't want to sit with colored hands the whole time that we chat.
Yeah,
But that's the whole idea, that they're removing the drawing slowly and properly, mindfully washing their hands.
yeah, that's very innovative and it's
Thank
really important as well. It's amazing.
you.
What made you resonate with us at Aspire for Her?
I think growing up, um, there was a lot of emphasis on um, academics, which I was fairly good at. But I think what you guys are doing, which is awesome, is that bringing on mentors from all parts of the field. And I think, design sometimes gets overlooked back home a little bit. And there's so many career options that are just as exciting as, I think STEM is really important, but I do think that the creative arts sometimes get left behind. And it's awesome that you guys are, highlighting different career paths people can take. And of course, it's important to keep women in the workforce, as we're seeing this trend. And I remember speaking to the founder and just being so impressed by the mission overall. I come from a family of very empowered and career women. My mother is a lawyer, my sister is a scientist, and they're both powerhouses. So it's really important to me that I see the next generation, especially my generation and the ones after, continuing that legacy.
Yeah. So as you said that this week is actually our design spotlight week, and we're
Yes.
focusing on designers and product designers. It's really amazing. And as you said, yes, Miss Madhura is herself also a powerhouse.
Yeah.
What made you go to the Parsons School of Design at New York? Was that your dream? Was it like what inspired you to study design of like out of everything? Why design?
Yeah, honestly, in school I was always very interested in the creative arts. I love, drawing and doodling, and overall a very creative person. Um, but I had no idea what I wanted to do in college. And then as I started reading up in 11th and 12th grade, on like what design careers can be, it was a huge education for me to like actually be like, wow, there's so many fields of design. There's graphic design, there's product design, there's industrial design, there's communication design, and there's so many aspects that it can be used in web applications, actual real products. So it was very cool to me that like there were so many possibilities. And that's why I decided to go to design school too. And I went in undecided, so it was like an open thing. Like, I don't know what I want to do, but I know that I have one interest in this field. And then as I mentioned, once I got into my freshman year, I realized, so we used to have a couple of classes like 2D, 3D, where you were exploring different types of designs. And I realized that, okay, I really like working with my hands. I really like, problem solving. And that's why I chose industrial design. So it was cool. It was hard to leave home, obviously. I think, being so far away, I'm very close to my family. It was very hard to leave home, but I feel very privileged that I had the opportunity to be able to do that.
That's amazing. That's a great story. We are so happy to have you here again. Thank you so much for joining us. It
Course.
was an
Thank you for
amazing.
having me.
I'm sure you've inspired a lot of young designers, entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, and
And
if anyone has any follow-up questions, please go to www.soapen.com or info@soapen, and you can reach us anytime. We're more than happy to answer questions always.